Good morning and welcome to this week's sports podcast. It's Friday the 12th of August 2022. I hope you're all enjoying the warm heat. So it's the second heat wave of the summer in the UK, so all you sun lovers will be enjoying it, even though I'm not a big fan of it. But we don't usually get it, so we shouldn't really complain about it. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get on with the sports news, and we'll start as we always do with the Halifax Cricket League. Before I go into the Premier League details for last weekend and looking ahead to this week's fixtures, I want to say well done to Mytholmroyd on winning the Parish Cup last Sunday at Blackley, where they defeated Warley by 8 runs. Congratulations also to Jack Earl on his man of the match performance. He scored 56 not out and also took 4 for 15 and was adjudged to be the man of the match by President and fellow Halifax Town fan David Normanton. So well done to the boys at Mytholmroyd. Good performance also. Matt Schofield scored 57. They knocked off a total. I think Warley scored 171. Batting first, they chose to bat and they got 171, and then Mytholmroyd knocked it off 175 for 2, and they're Matt Schofield 57, Jack Earl 56 not out. They were the two guys who did most of the damage, and like I already mentioned, Jack's bowling performance 4 for 15, so that's what did it and got them home. So to put that in the trophy cabinet, we still obviously are defending Premier League champions. That's obviously going to change at the end of the season unless some kind of miracle goes on now, but they have picked up form, and also they won the T20 vocation tournament, so they're having a good run at the moment, so well done to the guys there. Okay, looking back at last week's league fixtures, and the results were as follows. At the top, Copley, they beat Mytholmroyd actually by 3 wickets in a good, well contested game. Illingworth beat Warley by 8 wickets. Thornton was surprisingly beaten by Luddenfoot. They lost by 8 wickets to Luddenfoot. Bradshaw were beaten by Great Horton Park Chapel by 71 runs. Sowerby Bridge, they were beaten by Booth by 64 runs. And in the other game, SBCI beat Triangle by 4 wickets. So just to go through the games then and what the highlights were, we'll start with the game between Booth and Sowerby Bridge actually. Booth scored 223 all out in their innings. Razwan Sagir's 56 not out was the main contributor there with a bat. And Sam Miller kept Sowerby Bridge in the game with 4 for 44, so good performance there by Sam, so well done to him. Sowerby Bridge though, when they battered, couldn't get anywhere near the total really. They got 159 all out, so a 64 run defeat. There was only really Chris Metcalf who scored 37 who really put up any kind of fight with the bat, and batting has been the problem this season for them. Rich Laycock and Usman Sagir took 3 wickets each for Booth, and they were the two guys that helped see them over the line. Great Horton Park Chapel, well, they beat Bradshaw by 71 runs. They batted first, they scored 196 for 8. We're supposed to be reasonably satisfied with that total. Adam Beasley was the man who scored 91 of those runs, 91 not out. Good performance for the ball. That's a great performance for the ball by Aaron Buckley. He took 6 wickets for 53. So Bradshaw would have been fairly confident halfway of knocking the total off, but unfortunately we didn't. There were no real contributions at all with the bat. There were 125 all out. I think the highest score was 22, something like that. And it was Dominic Anderson, Marshall Grieve and Patel who all took 3 wickets each for GHPC. And this has got a comfortable victory really, so a good result for them. A much needed victory because of the bottom of the table, so well done to the lads there. Mytholmroyd, they batted first against Copley, got 199 all out. Again, it's sort of reasonable total there. I put Luke Sutcliffe, he got 53 not out, I think that's right. And he was the man who sort of like helped them get to a reasonable total. But when Copley came to bat, they won by 3 wickets. Gav Whip, 88, and Ollie Thorpe, 42, the top of the order. They were the 2 men that got them off to a good start. Saw them past, by the time we were both out, we were past the 100 run mark, and that was enough really for the rest of the team just to cobble the rest of the runs together to make sure they won with a fairly comfortable margin in the end up. So Copley retained their lead at the top of the table. Thornton, 257 all out, a good score you'd say. Josh Hutchinson again keeping up his good run of form, 113 for Josh. He's having a great season with a bat. And Jordan Croft also chipped in, he got 52, so good performance there. And it was Liam Senior and Conor McGowan took 3 wickets each for Luddenfoot, so it's a good performance by those guys. Luddenfoot knocked off the total fairly comfortably for the loss of his 2 wickets, 261 for 2, and the main man was Isaac Baldwin, unbeaten, 123. Fantastic effort there from Isaac there. and he won in the match effectively, along with Jacob Whitehouse, who scored 74. So those two contributed almost 200 runs on their own, and that was enough to make sure they won the game comfortably. And disappointing result for Thornton, good result for Ludfoot. Triangle, they were 143 out batting first against SBCI. Matthew Madden scored 43 to 143. Ed Denham also chipped in with 38, and that was about it really. They really did anything with the bat. Alex Schofield was the man who did the damage. Bit expensive, conceding 83 runs, but he took 6 wickets, so we're pleased with that. 6 for 83, no, not bad at all. Lewis Firth took the other 4 wickets. He took 4 for 31, so the two of them took all 10 wickets between them. SBCI managed to knock the total off and lost 6 wickets, 149 for 6, and it was Tom Wood. He was the man who saw them mainly open the batting. He scored 76. I think Simon Wood also got 30, but there were 2 people there who made it a reasonably easy day out for SBCI. And in the final game last Saturday, we've got Warley. Warley were 127 all out in their match, batting first. The only really real contribution with the bat was from Nolan Bottomley, and he scored 36. And for the bowling side for Illingworth, it was Ben Robertshaw and Matty Smith. They both took 3 wickets. So when it came to Illingworth's turn to bat, they knocked the total off without too much difficulty really. They reached 130 for 2, and it was Callum Cook who scored 55. And Gaz Fellows 47. I should say Callum Cook was 55 not out, so he was the main man there. Gaz Fellows chipped in with 47. Easy victory for Illingworth, and it doesn't really change a lot at the top of the table, although there was disappointment for Thornton. Copley continue their win run at the top, and we've also got Illingworth still making an effort to try and close them down, and Bradshaw lost as well, so the top 2 looking like they may finish in that order, but still 2 games to go yet. Talking of which, looking at tomorrow's fixtures, Great Horton Park Chapel are at home to Copley, so bottom versus top. Illingworth against Luddenfoot, Mytholmroyd against Booth, Sowerby Bridge against Triangle, SBCI against Warley, and Thornton at home to Bradshaw. So that's your matches for tomorrow. I don't think there are going to be any issues in terms of the actual weather, because it's going to be like one of the warmest days of the year, wall-to-wall sunshine. Just to go back to the league table, I mentioned about the top 2, Copley and Illingworth from St Mary's now look like it's going to be between those 2. Luddenfoot have moved up to 4th in the table, that victory of Thornton. They're behind them now by just 4 points, and Bradshaw slipped to 5th. Mytholmroyd are up to 6th. And the Great Horton Park Chapel have closed the gap a little bit on Triangle. They're 9 points behind, and Triangle are 12 points behind Warley. So there's probably still time for those 2 to change it now. But we'll see. We've got I think 6 games still to go. Look at that, 16. I think they play 22. So yeah, still time for those to be taking changes there. Okay, so that's about the whole for the Halifax Cricket League for last week. With regards to cricket elsewhere, Yorkshire have won 3 of their first 4 matches in the One Day Cup. They only defeated suffered against Lancashire. There are some tough teams in Yorkshire's group, notably Hampshire were top. I think they've won all 3 of their games. Essex you'd fancy, but they've only got 3 points in their opening 4 games, so they might be struggling to qualify. So Yorkshire need to keep it going now and win as many games as they can. They played a lot of these games at Scarborough and York, while Headingley's been used for the 100. Harry Brook from Yorkshire scored 100 for the England Lions yesterday. I think he scored 140. Ben Duckett 145, scored 672. South Africa are 59 for 3 in their second innings. They should also mention with the ball that Keshav Maharaj took 6 wickets. He's obviously played for Yorkshire quite a bit, so good to see Keshav doing well for South Africa. Hopefully he won't do as well in the test match. Sorry about that. If you're a South African, I'm not sure how many South Africans are watching. And the test series against South Africa for England starts on Wednesday. The first test starts at Lords on Wednesday morning, the 17th. One other thing I want to mention, I know some people, there's a lot of division with regards to the 100, whether it's actually cricket or not. Pete Lyons made it quite clear his feelings on this subject, but you've got to say well done to Will Smeed being the first man to score 100 in the 100 ball game, so well done to him. He still merits a mention, even if you don't consider it to be proper cricket. Okay, we're going to move on from cricket now, and we're going to talk about football. We'll talk about Premier League first of all. It was a good start last Saturday for Manchester City in their defence of their title, and most notably Erling Haaland. 2 great goals, well, a penalty and a fantastic finish where he arced the ball around the keeper. He looks to have settled in already, and the golden boot must be getting closer after one game than the other before, so I'm sure Mo Salah and Harry Kane amongst others will have a say about saying that. But yeah, good start for City in their defence, 2-0 at West Ham. Not an easy place to go. West Ham didn't really perform at all. You could argue Man City didn't let them play, and it was the first game of the season, so yeah, he's got lots of time to pan things out yet. Liverpool were held to a 2-2 draw at Craven Cottage by Fulham. Fulham performed really well. Again, a penalty from Mitrovic and a good finish by him as well. 2-2, he got both goals. Salah did score alongside Darwin Núñez for Liverpool, who looks pretty decent, I've got to say. So, you know, they won't be too disheartened after one game. Brighton surprised Manchester United at Old Trafford to beat them 2-1. I watched that game. I've got to say they probably did deserve to win it overall. United fought back well in the second half, but overall I thought Brighton deserved the 3 points. But like I say, it's only the first game of the season. This weekend we've got Villa against Everton. That's on BT Sport. Saturday 12:30. Villa poor start at Bournemouth, losing 2-0. Everton lost at home to Chelsea. Chelsea looked okayish. Everton didn't look great, but it's hard to tell when you're playing such a good team. Brentford are at home to Man U tomorrow night. That's 5:30 PM. Also, that's on Sky. And then the other games are all on Sky. Nottingham Forest are welcoming Premier League football back to the City Ground. They're at home to West Ham. 2 PM kick-off Sunday afternoon. Chelsea, they're at home to Tottenham in the London Derby. 4:30 PM. A lot of history and rivalry between those two. Should be a good game. And then Monday night's game on Sky is Liverpool against Crystal Palace. 8 PM kick-off. Liverpool will be expecting to win that. Crystal Palace were outplayed by Arsenal somewhat on Friday night in the first game of the season. So it'll be interesting to see if Liverpool get the first win on the board. I'd fancy them to do that. You can follow all the action on Match of the Day, no doubt, tomorrow night, but also through your apps you've got. If you're not watching Sky or by not watching BT, you can keep up with things on BBC and places like that. So I hope you enjoy the Premier League this weekend. It'll be good weather for that as well. Moving on to the National League, FC Halifax Town have their first home game tomorrow. They're at home to Torquay, and then they've got a second home game straight away on Tuesday evening against Southend. 2 games will be looking to get the season up and running after a disappointing 2-0 result at Barnet. Last Saturday, quite a few of my friends went to the game last Saturday and said that we were worryingly poor. Obviously, I say it's the first game of the season, anything happen. People predict it's going to be a bad season. Barnet are going to be in the bottom 6. How do you know? You don't know. That's probably based on previous seasons. You don't really know much about those teams, about Barnet, unless you watch them every week. They may be really good this year. You never know. So, but yeah, they've got 2 games at home. Hopefully, Matty Warburton will be back in the team this weekend after missing last Saturday through injury. There's still a lot of conjecture and speculation about both him and mainly Jesse Deborah leaving. I hadn't heard much about Warburton until this week, but they are possibly both rumours. The manager Chris Millington's dispelled any transfer talk, so we'll see what happens. Obviously, the transfer window is still open till the end of August, and there's transfer moves to take place yet, but we'll see. But hopefully, we'll keep hold of both of those integral players. Okay, moving on football, talk about Rugby League now. Halifax Panthers had another good victory on Sunday at the Shea in front of the Premier Sport cameras. They beat them by 34 points to 18 to regain 3rd place from Batley. Hopefully they'll manage to retain that now till the end of the season. There's 5 matches to go. This evening, Halifax Panthers are away to Sheffield Eagles. They'll be hoping to keep their good run of form going there. Should win that game. You'd expect them to beat them in that game. Ben Tibbs has extended a contract as well with Halifax, so that's good news as well. They've signed up quite a few for next season already, and some even for the season beyond that. So good news. There's a bit of continuity going. Interesting question after the game at the Shea on Sunday, when Simon Griggs was interviewed on Premier Sports by the panel, asking him if he thought Halifax could beat Lee, and he said if all the players played to the maximum for the full 80 minutes, they'd have a chance, but it'd still be a big ask. And I think a lot of people just feel that Lee are going to be promoted. Featherstone, who are second, look comfortable. They beat Widnes away on Sunday by 20 points to 16, but they look like they're maybe easing off a little bit, thinking that they're going to be second, whatever, and saving it on conserving their efforts for the playoffs. But we'll see. But yeah, let's hope Halifax can pull off another good result tonight away to Sheffield. Now moving on to the World Speedway. It's a big weekend in the World Speedway because we have the British Grand Prix at Cardiff at the Principality Stadium. 5 PM start tomorrow evening, Saturday the 13th of August. Adam Ellis has been confirmed as the wild card afterwards, an inconclusive finish at the British Final, which is going to be rerun. I've heard rumours it may be in late September or start of October. but nothing definite. I'll let you know when that's been confirmed. On Sunday, we've got the under 21 Speedway Nations, or sorry, not SGP. It's now called the SGP2 rather than the World Under 21 Championship. Tom Brennan is in that. He's in to replace Timmy Sallinen, the Finnish rider who got injured in the World Cup or the Speedway of Nations, and that means that the wild card's now being handed to Leon Flint. So good luck to those two guys there. I just want to point out, going back to the main GP, that it's a 6 round out of 10, and anybody who's got a ticket for the main GP meeting on Saturday evening, I believe is allowed to attend the SGP2 on Sunday for the under 21s free of charge. So according to my friend Richard and Donna, who are going to that meeting, so hope they enjoy it, and all my other friends who are there or going to Cardiff this weekend, I hope you enjoy the sunshine and hopefully the racing is good. It's normally more about the event because the race is not always that great at Cardiff with it being a man-made track. I hope it's good enough for you. Moving away from that, we've got the championship pairs actually. So some people are going to all of those meetings, all 3 meetings this weekend. I think the guys are on Ron's Bellevue trip. They're going to Oxford tonight. You have to buy tickets in advance. I think they're worried about reaching capacity because it's not as large a capacity as it used to be down at Cowley. But it's good to see Speedway back at Oxford, and hopefully it'll be a successful evening for them and a profitable evening for them and the BSP as well. They need some success after the bit of a disaster at the British final. So they're the main events of the weekend. In terms of the Premiership, Ipswich have extended their lead at top after a 46-44 victory at home to Kings Lynn last night after taking somewhat a hammering at Bellevue on Monday by 60 points to 30. So the 5 points clear, I think, now Ipswich. The 18-point maximum for Jason Doyle last night, warming up nicely for the Grand Prix. He had a few engine difficulties and misfortunes on Saturday, including shedding on Monday at Bellevue, including shedding a chain possibly in an incident with Charles Wright. Just what a racing incident really, and his bike didn't go for start in the next race, so he struggled. He only got 9, but Bellevue were fantastic, and their form at home has been really good. So it's looking like Ipswich, Bellevue, Sheffield, Wolves. I don't necessarily mean in that order, but that's the current order, I think, in terms of the playoffs. But there's still quite a way to go yet, and the next live BT Sport match, I think, is Kingsley and Bellevue on the 22nd of August, so keep your eyes on the TV programme for that. Okay, so that's where we are with the Speedway. Stock cars this weekend sees the second semi-final of the World Championship take place at Skegness International Raceway. I think the meeting kicks off at 5 p.m. Tomorrow evening, Saturday. Current world champion Tom Harris sits on pole position for that race, and he'll be the favourite for that and also for the final. But you never know what can happen. It's a one-off race. You can have malfunction with the engine, some kind of puncture, anything can happen. But he'll be hopeful of retaining his title. A lot of the top drivers are in this race. We've got competition from the likes of Lee Fairhurst, Frankie Wayman Jr. and Craig Finnegan. John Lund's also in this race. He'll be looking to get through because it's on tarmac. We're hoping to get through to the final. Luke Davidson's also a contender for this race. He's a tarmac specialist, so good lineup there. And we're back with news of that next weekend. The last weekend at Milden Hall, the double weekend, the Saturday night meeting was won by Joe Nichols. I think that's the first final he's won for some time. I don't know if he's probably won a final in the past, but not in recent memory. I can't remember him winning one. So well done to Joe. And then Craig Finnegan won the final on the Sunday meeting, so he'll be in good heart for tomorrow now as a result of that. Obviously a different surface, but even so, good results always boost your confidence. So that's it. Well, stock cars, just a couple more miscellaneous things to mention before I go. Serena Williams has announced that she'll be retiring from tennis after the US Open at the end of this month, so all the best for your retirement, Serena. And I think that's just about all that I want to mention. There was something else that came to mind, but it's gone again now, so it can't be that important, can it? Oh, athletics. Faith Kipyegon Athletics World Diamond League meeting Wednesday night just missed out on a world record in the, I think it was the 1500 actually. So she had pacemakers, but she just failed. It was a fantastic run by her, so well run by Faith there. And the European Championships are starting shortly, so we'll be talking about that a little bit as well in next week's podcast. So I think that's about all for this week. So I hope you've enjoyed watching as always. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe on YouTube. Any comments you want to make, add them either to the Facebook post, the Twitter post, or put them in the comments on YouTube. Appreciate all your support, and I hope you enjoy, like I say, watching it. And I'll be back next week with the latest update from all this weekend's cricket, football, speedway, and anything else we normally cover. So until then, it's bye from me.